Hello guys. So this video is on candle magic and we're going to talk a little bit about candle magic. Wait, I forgot something. I'm going to talk about a little bit about candle magic and how to work it. Now, if you guys just saw, I pulled out a very dusty box. Like, look how dusty this box is. It's disgusting. Can't believe I still have this box. But in this box, I have candles. This was probably a St. Martha candle that went horrible. I keep these. These are maybe from a month ago, so they really need to go out. But this one was pink. Oh my gosh. That must have been a love candle. Look at that. I think I lit this maybe a month or two before I met my new boyfriend. Anyway, reminiscing. I keep these for a month or so. I read them, interpret them, and then I throw them out and I buy new candles and I light those, read them, interpret them, throw them out. It's an endless cycle. So we're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about interpreting candles, and we're going to talk about interpreting candles and what you need to interpret candles and all of that good stuff. You guys see I'm still not ready. I even prepared for all this and I'm still not ready. Okay, so first we're going to talk about books. Now, if you guys have read my Psalms, if you guys have saw my Psalms video, blah blah blah, I had a brain fart. My Psalms video, you guys have seen that I talked about these two books. These are both by Reverend T. Malbrough. And what they're about is they're hoodoo books. This one talks more about taper candles, and this one talks about 7-day candles, because what do saints come on? 7-day candles. But anyway, these both are very good for candle magic. This one has the complicated candle burning rituals, the ones where you need dolls and herbs and crystals and gemstones, and you need to move the candles together every day and move them apart, or move two in, or rotate change the way they go. And those are very, very detailed books. My cat is always in my business when I'm making a video. If you're gonna sit in the video. Okay. So this one is very, 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 very involved. Also, but this one is very more chilled, a prayer every day maybe, or it even talks about how you interpret the candles a little bit, but it's a prayer every day, or you set it next to a glass of water with sugar in it. Mind control spell. Or you say a prayer over it every day before you light it. I'm going to be talking about a couple of techniques that I use that I think I put it in my book or in my blog. But yeah, so follow my blog and my YouTube channel and my Twitter, because I'm going to be giving lots of updates about my book. Anyway, next book is this one, which I got at the Half Price bookstore, and I don't think I took the price tag off because it was only $6.48, and that was a bargain to me because the book was originally priced at $12.95, so I got a half price, like literally half price. But it's Raymond Buckland's Candle Magic, and you guys have heard many witches swear up and down about this book, about the rituals in here. The rituals in here are involved, and I have a student, a friend, a teacher. Like I tell her all the time, I teach her, she teaches me, we teach each other. A student friend teacher, and she got the book per my suggestion. I was like, and I told her, girl, it's not that deep. Like, he tells you to plan this out months in advance, weeks in advance, days in advance. Move this candle every day. Now, the moving candles every day part, that might be kind of important, but you don't have to plan this out okay, the room's going to be here at this time, and you need to be here at that time, and you need to be able to see it from that angle, and you need to make sure that the candle that you have is sitting right under it. No, it's not that planned out. What it is just make sure you have at least a couple of weeks to prepare. I'm not saying prepare like months in advance. Like, if you want to do a spell in April, don't start preparing in November. you know, don't plan that far ahead. But I mean, if you like to plan ahead like that, I mean, I guess you could. And it talks about how, you know, you need to follow the moon cycle to the T, and how you need to make sure that you never mess up, and how you make sure that you never need to, and that if you mess up once, that how you need to get rid of the whole spell and start all over, which I don't think is, I don't really think that's necessary. I mean, if you get to light your candle one day, yes, you kind of thrown off the energy, and so I would suggest, you know, find a way to make up that energy. Like if there's a chant that you say, you know, you might say that chant twice, or you might just say the chant if you forgot to light the candle before you did whatever else. So just say the chant that you would do while you light the candle. But anyway, yeah, it talks about different types of color correspondences. It talks about planetary correspondences. It talks about crystal correspondences. It talks about hour correspondences. It talks about days of the week. It talks about astral candles associated with your colors. My colors are red because I'm a Leo, green because I'm a Sagittarius, and and I think it's red again because I have Scorpio in my moon or something like that. I'd have to look at my charts again. So the next book is Sticks, Stones, Roots and Bones by Stephanie Rose Bird. And Stephanie Rose Bird is a great hoodoo author. But I'm not at all insulting her. If she sees this, Stephanie Rose Bird, I love you so much with all my heart. Don't be offended when I say this. But what she's giving isn't traditional hoodoo. It's more of a paganistic look at it, because traditional hoodoo would focus more on the Bible work, and she doesn't focus on Bible work at all. It's completely nature spirits, which I feel is really important to hoodoo because it's nature based. You know, you use the herbs of nature, you use the crystals of nature, you know, you have a communication with nature, you use animal bones, you use all these things that come from nature. He's laying on top of my books, guys. But my cat is laying on top of my books. But there's a lot of the Bible involved, and I really feel like, this is only the first book I read by her. I bet if I read more, I'll get eventually to what I'm looking for. But I wish she would have talked about that even in this book, because this is sort of a beginner's book, and there's no reference to the Bible or any holy scripture, any scriptures out of the Bible, no Psalms, none of that. But maybe there are enough books, hoodoo books, that talk about Psalms and Bible verses that she didn't really need to do that, because, you know, if you wanted to find that, you could go somewhere else. I don't know. I really wish that she would have talked about it, though, like at least been like, well, the Bible is very prevalent in hoodoo for this reason. But anyway, that's besides the point. Now, another thing that is extremely important when doing hoodoo magic, and I can't find the journal that I usually use, but is when doing candle magic, is a journal. And the reason for that is that you want to write down what the candle burned like, what the candle looked like, what the candle, you know, did. Were there any symbols in the candle? Were there any movements in the candle? I used to be really good at writing down everything. I used to keep a pen and paper on my altar, so that when a candle did something, I could be like, oh, this happened here and here, and it happened on this day at this time, and the full moon was in this place. And then I realized that I was doing too much. Like, it was not affected at all like that. Some people will say it is, some people will say it isn't. I don't know. Magic is less of a science for me, and it's more of just an art skill. It's just more of an art, and it's an art that I really comprehend quite easily. I don't know. Am I a magical prodigy? I don't know. You guys tell me. Anyway, so we're going to talk about some of these candles, and I think we're going to move from top to bottom. So let's start with the top ones. Ooh. Okay. So this is a pink candle, and this was the last candle I burned before, the last love candle I burned before I got in my current relationship. And you know, when I look at this candle, it very much does talk about my relationship, because this black part at the top, I don't know if you guys can really see that, but there's a lot of blackness at the top. And what that really means to me is that there's going to be a lot of struggle in the beginning, and you know, there's a lot of mess all over the jar. But it burned clear at the same time, meaning that, you know, there's not a lot of wax left everywhere, but there is mess all over the jar, which tells me that, you know, things might get a little messy in the relationship. You know, things might get tricky, and things might be hard to work out, but, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, it's clear and it finished great. And if you look at it, I filled this thing with herbs. Like, now that I look at it, I'm like, how did this thing not, like, grow into a fire and break it itself? And I think that's a symbol in itself, because if I take the stick off the bottom, I don't know if I can. That was a fail. But, I mean, there's not even a crack in it. There's not even a crack in it, which tells me that, you know, maybe this is a very strong relationship and it's going to last for a while. Maybe not forever, but for a while. So the next candle is a green candle, and I burn these quite often for St. Martha. Now, I see a lot of what looks to be like fire and ripples in this candle, which probably tells me that there was something really, very disturbing going on in my life at the time. You know, St. Martha might have been fighting something off for me, and you look, there's all this mess on it. It's very clean. This is a candle that you always redo, and I try to redo her candles. I do her candles a certain way, and I'll talk about that in my St. Martha Part 2 video, because that is coming up. But, yeah, this candle was very dirty. You see, and this is what I want you to talk about, like, you see how there's this wax left over at the bottom? I don't know if you guys can really see that, but there's like this wax, and it has like these figures and these shapes in it. And you know, it looks like fire to me, and some of them look like spirits that are like rising up from the ground. And I actually think this was the one I burned before the passing of my great-grandmother, because it looks like a spirit is ascending into heaven, and I think that really is what it means. You know, I was going to go through a little bit of difficulty, and St. Martha's always been there with me, my rock. You know, she's been my dominator in any situation. Like, when I've been sad or I've been feeling oppressed, St. Martha. So, yeah, she helped me. And this might have been her warning me, and I just didn't realize it at the time, because I didn't pay specific attention to it. But when you read these candles, when you look at these candles, pay special attention to the shapes. Pay attention to the shapes that you see in them, because you will find out what they mean. And eventually, as time goes by, as time drives by, you will start to develop a system of reading. This means this, and this means that, and you know this from that. And it'll just be as simple as this. You know, you light a person for a candle on a day, and you'll be like, come this day, because the candle will be done burning, and by the time the candle is done burning, you'll know whether or not the person is, you'll know whether or not what's going on in their life based on the candle reading. So, this candle is a little bit harder to tell you guys about, because I can't really explain it. That's wax. It must be hot down there. Anyway. This is a candle that's a little bit harder to show you guys what I read on it, but you guys see there's a lot of writing on it. There's a lot of writing on it. And so, what you do is, this is a candle for Oshun, you know, Our Lady of San do Lagos. And, you know, this is Oshun's saint, you know, she's associated with this saint. The patron of Cuba. So, this is her candle. Her name is written all up and down this. And, I can't really take off the wrapper. If I could, I would show you guys the inside. But this candle, to my knowledge, was a very not okay burning. And I really saw this candle as a warning candle, because when I written this, I was getting over an ex, and I was like, I'll do a little domination spell over it. And, you know, his name is on here along with some other things, and I added it, and I dressed it really well. I didn't dress it like I dressed the pink one. I didn't dress it like I dressed this one. Like, you see all the herbs, that there's like nothing. There's nothing in the bottom of this one. But, yeah. It came out pretty good. And I took this one it came out pretty dirty. And I took this one as sort of a warning candle that maybe that, like, the end of this relationship was meant to be the end of this relationship. And, you know, I was meant to lose contact with that person. Okay. Now, this one was a spell that I was trying out, and it was a road opener spell. And if you look on it, I have the Veve, my personal Veve on here. My personal Veve, but a Veve that I use a lot for Legba. I don't know if you can really see it. It's kind of come off. as time is wearing it down, and which is sort of how bebes are supposed to work. They act as a way to initiate the spirit, and they're supposed to get worn away, and as they worn away, the gates open wider and wider for that spirit to come through. But this was a love road opener, and I dressed it a specific way with specific oils and candles and herbs, and it burned horribly. See all this stuff that's stuck up at the rim, and that should have told me at the beginning that this wasn't going to work well. But, you know, I'm hard-headed, me being a Leo and all, nobody can tell me anything. I have to learn things the hard way. So then this happened, you know, and what this represents to me is your past affecting your future, because this is the back of the candle, because the way I had the candle set, it was like this, you know, looking forward to the future, but this is the back. It does matter where you place the candles. Like if you place them on the east side of the room and you face them towards the west, you know, that might represent, you know, this being the beginning of something. Whereas if you place it towards the west facing the east, this might be the end of something. Or you place it towards the north from the south, you know, the flow of energy is naturally from the lowest point, from the highest point, which is the north, to the south, which is the lowest point. So what direction you face the candle is very important too. But anyway, this represents to me troubles in the past that have reoccurred. You know, I've done a lot of talking in this video, and I haven't really talked about just these type of candles. These candles aren't written on, these candles aren't drawn on, they're offering candles. These candles are blessed with Bible scripture, like I said, Psalms and the prayers on the back, and then they're giving to the spirit that you give them to, Oshun, Yemaya, Elekwa, Chango, you know, Azuli Freda, Azuli Dantor, you know, whoever you give these to, you know, Baron Samdi, whoever. And so these candles aren't usually dressed too deeply. I might put some of their sacred herbs in here, but nothing special, nothing spectacular. I know for this one, I used Oshun oil, and I can still smell it. And Oshun oil is something that I have a spectral mix for. It's in my book, which will hopefully be coming out next August. Here we have another one that's been written on, you know. And, you know, I remember this one. I was going into senior year, and I was praying about that, and I was like, I looked at it, and it burned so clean, and it was like, oh my gosh, this must be really, really good. And I saw some stuff on the inside of the jar. I don't know if you can see that, but there was some stuff on the inside of the jar, and I was like, yes, I understand this completely, because what it's saying is that there are going to be some rough spots, and, you know, I always expect rough spots when it comes to school. Now, look at this white one. This white one was dressed with love oil, and it was something I was trying out. It was something new I was really trying out. And now that I look at it, it makes so much sense to me. Because when I first read it, I was like, what does this mean? I don't understand it at all. But it makes sense to me. So this happened. This candle happened. I had overdressed it a little bit. It didn't crack. It didn't break. And I remember my grandma, like low-key, my grandma, she used to burn these candles, and like what she used to do is she used to clean them out, and she used to use them to drink out of. Like we used to have a cabinet with the glass, and you'd see these in there as drinking cups. And I feel like that's like a good way to do hoodoo. Like you light a love candle in here, and you know, you put somebody's name on it, and then when the candle is done, you clean out the wax really good, you clean it out really good, you rub it down really clean, and then, you know, you just invite them over for tea, and you sit outside, and you pour their tea in here, and you be like, here, drink this. And, you know, they suddenly done got the hoodoo straight to their lips. You know, just like when you cook and you put something in it, that's why I don't eat nothing that nobody else cooked. If I don't know who cooked it, I ain't eating it. But you know how it is sometimes. This candle was horrible. Look at all the wax left on this candle. That is not good at all. There's a lot of dryness in this candle, because if you sort of look at it, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it looks like a desert, like how dry the desert ground is, and then these cracks in it. And, you know, it actually feels dry on the inside too, but that's probably because this is wax. Anyway, it just symbolizes something. These are all symbols, and you have to pay attention to these symbols. And the more you pay attention to them, the better you are, the better you get at reading them. And that's just the goal of getting better. It doesn't matter in the beginning how bad you are. It matters what the end result is. Now, this was a money candle, and I honestly God think that this box got a little hot and that the wax started to run because this green strip was not there before. But this was a money candle that I meant to throw out ages ago. This was to help my godmother, love you godmommy, get her new house. And when this burned, I think I kind of brushed it off. But now that I look at it, I understand why she hasn't received the new house that she wanted yet. Because this is a horrible, horrible candle. And I actually remember I gave her some lotto numbers associated with this candle because this is a lucky lotto candle. So I guess I'm gonna do that.
Dad.
Yes, Kanaya.
Okay.
I don't have any grapes.
No,
Get
I
out.
want them.
Okay, I'll get them for you in a second. My little sister. So that was just, I guess, a little bit of a showing and a telling. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys took something away from this video. It was maybe a little bit of a rant, but I hope I shared some useful information. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, make requests on videos that you want, or else I'll just keep making videos like this where I just pull out old spells and I talk about them and what worked and what didn't work. And this will sort of help be therapy for me and sort of help me keep records so I know what can go in my book and what can't. And thank you guys for watching. Again, ask for videos. If you have something that you want me to talk about, herbs or crystals or anything, just please ask me about it. If I don't know about it, I'll tell you about somebody who does know about it. I'll share a link with you and I'll let you read up about it, and I'll read up about it, and then maybe we'll both make videos about it. But thank you for watching, and ashe, ashe, ashe.